That's good. Okay. So today we're going to go over some pretty easy stuff. Now, I've kind of touched on sports psychology a little bit with you guys, some other things, but I wanted to go over the concept of leadership with you guys. Leadership is something I've not really touched on too much, but I was talking about with Kraft a little bit over the weekend here, and I thought that it was a pretty good idea to bring up, because you can apply it to really any situation, whether you stay in or get out, or really to yourself. Honestly, it's just leading someone is not very different from leading yourself in reality. The same principles apply. So here's the thing. Now, the Army's idea of leadership is providing purpose, motivation, and direction. All right. So what that would translate to, what is your purpose? Like, what are you going to do? Whether that be, seizing a hill, obtaining a certain PT score, it doesn't really matter. Whatever your objective is. Motivation, reasoning to do it. Right? Like, why are you going to do this? Because I can give you the best objective ever, but if you don't really know why you're doing it and the value in it, one, you're probably not going to do it well if you do it at all, and you may actually hope it fails. You may go into a plan hoping to God that it just fucks up because you didn't care about it anyway. Direction is how to achieve it. So, hey, you kind of see it in some of the counselings I've written you guys. Like, hey, you're going to achieve a certain physical fitness ability, right? So, purpose, motivation, hey, I'm going to try to create a World War-based system for you if you do well. Direction, look, I'm going to train with you, and I'm going to develop a nutrition program for you, help you facilitate that if need be. So there you go. Kind of same concept, you can apply that to anything. Now, you have to think of that for yourself as well. And it kind of goes into sports psychology side. Different types of motivation. It has intrinsic and extrinsic. So if you're extrinsically motivated, you want something out of what you're doing. If it is intrinsic, it's kind of for you. Depending on your motivation, it's going to decide why you want it. If it's extrinsic, I want to go to Ranger School, so I get a badge. I get a little tab out of it. I beef up my ERB. I'll look better. I'll look cool. People will like me more. If it's intrinsic, that same objective would be, well, I want to really push myself, and I want to prove to myself that I can do it. I want to get something out of it by doing something hard. Now, intrinsic motivation is kind of referred to as a drive. And drive doesn't really die out. That's something that's just there. Motivation is kind of extrinsic. That comes and goes. So, it's kind of like, let's say you want to be a good runner. You want to be able to run a marathon. Okay? Fair enough. Good goal. You're motivated to do it. It's bad weather outside. You're not going to run. You're like, hey, fuck that, dude. I'm going to get on the treadmill, if I do it all. Or maybe I'll just call today a rest day. I'll validate in my head as to why I need to take the day off. Cool. You're intrinsic, you're like, fuck it. A little bit of bad weather. I can't guarantee the weather's going to be good when it comes time for my race. I should probably train in whatever happens. That way I'm used to operating in shitty ass conditions. Because after all, that's my objective. I'm going to succeed. Fuck whatever else. So when you're leading guys, you need to give them an intrinsic motivation. All right, now I kind of like to attack things from both ways. All right, like I want to give you the drive to succeed, but also give you a reason as well. So you see that, what I would compare that to, I'm giving you examples with myself, so you can kind of, you don't have to do things exactly my way, but you can kind of understand, like, okay, that's the procedure implemented here, and here's how it looks in real time, so I can maybe implement it my own way. Extrinsically, I'm like, hey, then we get some 4-day weekends out of this and we compete. Like, hey, there's your reward-based system. You get recognition. Intrinsic, people don't fuck with you anymore. You get to improve your health. You feel better every day. You perform better every day. And you have something to work towards. You have an actual target to aim at. A lot of times, and this is doubly true in the military, unfortunately. It's very true in the civilian sector too. But there's no target. no one really knows what they're aiming at, so they can't shoot anything. I mean, compare it to a range. You know, how many times have you gone to a range and they're just like, hey, you know, open fire, suppress the target. And you're just like, okay, you know, and you have no idea what you're shooting at or why. You're just following the rate of fire prescribed to you. You're just like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna start shooting. Now, what are the odds you actually hit anything in that vicinity? You're just shooting. It's doubly true if it's at night and you're laying in the grass because you have to do everything from the prone for some arbitrary reason. And you just start spraying rounds. You're just like, okay, look, I was told to shoot at that particular series of buildings, so I'm gonna start shooting. You're not aiming at anybody, so you're probably not gonna hit anybody, right? But if I sat you down and I said, hey, look, there's a guy right there, it's 300 meters out, I need you to shoot. You could probably hit that target. Now that, kind of like real life, outside of two-way ranges, right? You're not gonna hit if you don't know what you're aiming at. If you're just kind of doing shit to do it, there's no reason to do it. And two, you don't even know what you're trying to do in the end state. And you'll be like, I want to get fit. What does that mean? I want to make a good team. How? You know, I want us to be cohesive. How? Why? Why does it matter? And I mean, honestly, why does it? Because I mean, a lot of people will try to argue with you, like, well, as long as your guys do good in the field or deployment, I mean, who cares? You know, you'll get hit by certain seniors. They're like, well, they don't have to like you to respect you, or as long as they respect your rank, it's all that matters. You know, as long as they do what you say, that's all that matters. Yeah, cool, but it's not really a very good system. You know, if you have this methodology of, hey, look, you're going to do what I tell you because I rank you, and that's just the way it rolls, your guys don't want to succeed for you. All right, they're just kind of trying to avoid punishment. They're like, okay, well, look, I've got to study this thing so I don't get fucking destroyed later. You know, I don't get smoked for 3 hours because, God forbid, I was 1 digit off on point target range estimation, right? You need to create a team that wants to succeed. They want to succeed for themselves and they want to succeed for you, right? Now, there's a lot of different things you can take from. There's a ton of books that I could recommend you guys take a look at that all have pretty applicable things to think of when it comes to that. I think the most relevant is something I stuck by a lot, and I've seen it used with an old first sergeant I had. That is, you know, if you treat your men like your sons, right? Treat them like your own sons, they'll follow you into the deepest of valleys. And they will follow you even unto death. That is, in abstract, it's not a direct quote, but it's very roughly equal to an excerpt from The Art of War by Sun Tzu. It's accurate. Because honestly, what would you do for your kids? Right? Probably just about anything. You know, if it demanded it, you'd probably want to do anything for anybody you care about legitimately. You know, but if you don't really care about somebody, how far are you willing to go for them? Not very. You know, I cannot pull my rank very hard when I'm bleeding out on the ground. You know, I can't whip it out and say, well, look, I have a Ranger Tad, so that's why we're going to seize this fucking high ground against a vastly superior force that's probably going to murder all of us. I'm going to have a fucking hard time convincing you that's a wise decision. And you'd be like, okay, well, you know what? Lead the way. We'll be right behind you. You know, and then I fucking die. So, you need to treat your guys, for one, like your soldiers, yes, but you need to treat them in a manner that they're more than that. Like, I'm not just in charge of you because I was given you. And then you look, fucking take care of these dudes. And I'm taking care of you because I want to. You know, you need to take care of your guys because you care about them. You care about their success. And you care about how they feel every day. I mean, that sounds cheesy, and it's sure as fuck not what I was taught when I was coming up in the Army. But you need to give enough of a shit about your guys and their morale that you can help them be happy to some degree. Now, can I make you happy about everything in the Army or life? Honestly, no. But I can try to make your day a little less shitty with mitigating the stupid shit and giving you something to look forward to. So if you know PT every day is going to be a 10-mile run or a ruck run, you're probably not going to want to do PT, right? You're going to be mad from the start of the fucking day. But if you know you're about to come in, you're going to work out with me, and we're going to do an educated program together, your day doesn't start off bad. You know you're going to wake up, and at least the start of the day is going to be pretty cool. You know, you're going to do something. Good deal. If If you know you're going to a range to do the same exercise 15 times in a row because you have to do a spendex on ammo, you're probably not going to care. You're going to just drop rounds and wait for it to end so you can go the fuck home. It was like, hey, look, we're going to go to the range and I'm going to teach you guys a bunch of cool shit. You know, I'm going to teach you guys how to reload faster, teach you guys how to maneuver, teach you how to shoot your weapon canted. You know, and we're going to drop rounds in the name of getting more efficient and learning better things. You're okay with that. That's not that bad. So you have to kind of take some of the things the Army gives you, whatever that tasking is, and make that something good, because I can't just make everything good. But you can at least try. Okay, well, if we're going to the range, maybe I can make that productive, you know, more productive than what it's probably ultimately going to turn into. And that is doing that over time with a lot of different stuff that makes your guys, one, they see the difference in you between other leaders. All right, you know, if you're constantly taking care of them and trying to make sure that they actually don't hate their lives, don't want to die every day, if you're making sure they improve, they're going to want to do more for you. Like, you know what? I kind of care about this guy because he matters. You know, I want to succeed for him. All right, and if I give you the right tools, you have higher odds of succeeding too, which is even better. So it also gets us more cohesive because we're kind of on the same page. Like if I train you guys to do things my way and it all makes sense and you like it, I know what you're going to do under every scenario. Think alike. Right? We do things the same. So now on the topic of, again, motivations. Although it's possible, it is very hard to have a good leader that is extrinsically motivated. And I've known quite a few leaders like that. Now, what does that translate to? I had a leader one time tell me, you know, I want you to succeed because the better you do, the better I look. Well, for one, it's kind of a shitty thing to directly acknowledge to somebody, but number two, it's a really bad way of thinking, right? You know, if I sat here and I was like, people are like, man, why do you train your guys and do all this stuff? It's like, I want everybody to know I'm the best guy here. You know, I want to get promoted really fast because I'm doing everything. Well, for one, if you hear that, you're probably less inclined to give a shit about what I want to do now. Because now you've realized I don't actually care about you. That's one nice little NCOER bullet to be like, yeah, he's, you know, had this percentage of improvement amongst his guys. It's a quick way to lose motivation, right? It's like, wow, okay. You know, nice. So you've seen leaders like that at some point throughout your career, especially you've been in the Marines for a period of time, you know, you got more time of service than quite a few of the guys here. So, I mean, you know it. I'm sure you've seen it at some point where guys really just wanted you to succeed for them, or they were what you call spotlight soldier. You know, guys that are only good when leadership is around. The guys that are quiet, maybe your buddy, and then as soon as there's a senior around, they're yelling, trying to make it look like you're working and training, and they calm the fuck down whenever seniors are away. Extrinsic. Very hard to get along with those types of guys too. Intrinsic is like, look, I don't really care if I get anything for this. Like, I want my guys to succeed. And if they surpass me, cool. Don't care. You know, it's like that. It's a victory in and of itself. Like if you somehow, you know, you get promoted faster than me, you know, you exceed me, and you get all schools in the book, and I'm sitting here like nothing somehow. Okay. You're going to be a good leader and you're going to motivate guys. That matters, does it not? I think that's more important, ultimately, is making your guys better. Because I'm one fucking dude. Now I have influence over you guys. I can fuck all of you up and make all of you shitty future leaders and shitty soldiers and make you get out of the Army, even if you had good potential. Or I can say, fuck it, I don't need a bunch of highly qualified marks on my my NCOER, and I'm going to make my guys succeed because I want them to win. Well, now I've created a fire team, a squad, a platoon worth of really good soldiers and good leaders. So when it comes time to deploy, one, you don't die. It's a little less odds of that. And two, during day-to-day tasks, you guys are better. And when you go into assume control over elements of yourselves, you can develop more people. I mean, it's probably a better success than me getting a bunch of highly rated shit and then I retire and then none of it matters anymore. And then the guy walking around with a retired Master Sergeant hat around Walmart with a range over elements of yourselves. you can develop more people. And it's probably better success than me getting a bunch of highly rated shit and then I retire and none of it matters anymore. And then the guy walking around with a retired Master Sergeant hat around Walmart with a Ranger tab sewed in it, you know, because God forbid, you know, no one is unaware, you know. It doesn't really matter in the end. But if I influence all you guys and you influence the guys under you, if you all take a squad-sized element and they take a squad-sized element, like, do you understand? You're really improving the Army as a whole as time goes on. And you kind of can eliminate some of the shitty culture that the Army has. Because unfortunately the Army has this really bad culture of you're a leader and you're a good one because you memorize something. That's not really true. And it's the equivalent of saying you're smart because you got a degree, but you cheated on all the tests. And you got a degree and that's nice, but it doesn't really mean that you understand the subject if you just cheated your way through it, right? You didn't study it. And you can see that with personal trainers. You know, there's guys who are charging you $400 every fucking 3 days, and they're mentally retarded. They don't understand the body. They don't understand anything. If you ask them a question like, hey, can I like show me like a stretch or like something to do my mobility? Can you like help me do this thing? They're like, well, that's not really I didn't really study that. Like, yeah, you did. It's part of an exercise science degree. You did study that. You know, so either you fucking didn't pay attention or you just blew your way through it. So probably know the answer to that. So the concept of like respecting rank, I think, is important to a degree. More so respect the guy, if you can. You know, you need to, that everybody needs to try to earn respect based off of their own merits and who they are, not whatever they've achieved. All right, because you can be a real piece of shit and have a lot of medals. You can. Do you have to be a good soldier or a good leader to pass a school? Not really. You have to be smart to pass through airborne school? No, you fall from the fucking sky. It's look, you walk out of a door and you're done. Mission complete. Do it 5 times, it's over. Good job. You're not important. Are you suddenly a good leader because you've stayed awake for a while and gotten smoked? Not really. You good because you fast rope out of a helicopter? Not fucking really. Good leader because you memorized the NCO creed? Not really. You know, so if you show up to a unit, you're like, well, I have a Ranger tab, you know, I'm airborne qualified. I have a sapper tab. You know, you have whatever shit you have on your body. If you've still been in the Army for a year and a half and you've never deployed and you've got nothing under your belt, you're just a guy that's been constantly in schools all day. It's cool you've accomplished it, but you're not going to surpass guys that are E6s and 7s that have been in the Army for 9, 10, 15 years and deployed 7 times. You can't exactly get better than them. I mean, well, I've been to these schools and you haven't. Well, he was also in Afghanistan his entire career, so you might want to listen to what he says more so in the doctrine that we created in Vietnam that we've yet to get away from. All right? Look at the EIB handbook. It still tells you to boop the butt of your rifle onto the ground when you go into the prone. That's not a technique you use with modern rifles at all, actually. You should not do that, in fact. But guess what? Part of our doctrine, got to do it. That way you're an expert infantryman. Why? You know, that doesn't make sense. Now, arguably, you know, it's the same as like, well, make sure your boots are shined. Cool idea. We don't do that anymore. So my ability to shine boots should not really dictate if I look professional nonsense. I don't wear shine boots. All right? So the Army is just really, really awkward about the way it does things. And I'm getting on a kind of a lengthy tangent here, but
hey, so when he's talking about being a leader, okay, you know how he says it's like it's not a selfish role, right? So I mean, he's 100% right. Even the Army thinks the way he does. So whatever leader you have out there that's motivated to try to help people because they want something for themselves. So if you look at the Army leadership, so an Army leader is anyone who, by virtue of assumed role or assigned responsibility, inspires and influences people to accomplish organizational goals. Army leaders motivate people inside and outside the chain of command to pursue actions, focus thinking, and shape decisions for the greater good of the organization. Leadership is the process of influencing people by providing purpose, direction, and motivation to accomplish the mission and improve the organization. Anywhere in that fucking in that little fucking group of sentences, did you find anything that was selfish? That said, you're doing this shit for you. It mentioned other people and shape the organization. Nowhere even in the Army doctrine does it mention leadership is about yourself. So always remember that. As a leader, you're there for other people. Alright? Can't lead yourself. Can't lead yourself in the battle. Like he said, you got a Ranger tab, you want to fucking take that hill, because you got a Ranger tab, sweet. But you got to lead a whole bunch of fucking dudes because you can't do that by yourself. So you got to keep everybody else in mind as well too. So you will find leaders if you guys stay in they're kind of like that. All they're about themselves. Like he said too, I need you to look good, so I look good. What does that do? That does nothing. Because in all honesty, you guys did all the work and I'm taking all the fucking glory for it. That's not the right thing at all. Not right. I don't want to see Korea fucking succeed and pass me. I want to. That's just how it is. I want to see him do it as well too. Fucking all you guys do it. If you guys are gonna stay in. I have no problem fucking calling YouTube fucking Sergeant Major if you guys stay in that long and you guys pass me. Me personally, like I said, I don't care about NCOER bullets, looking good and all that shit. I just go through the process things that has to be done. But in all honesty, man, like, if you don't have, the only way to brag about yourself, the best way to brag about yourself is how you inspire others. Alright? Not about, look what I can do. I bench press fucking 500 pounds, or I went from this and this, and now I'm fucking 600 on ACFT. Sweet. Awesome. You are fucking selfish.
I feel moderately insulted, but okay, continue.
Yeah. You are fucking selfish. Awesome. Do what other guys do. Fuck them. I mean, that's all for them to do. I did it myself, but you're a leader. And you got all this fucking knowledge to get you from point A to point B, and you didn't even think about passing on to your fucking subordinates? It's pretty fucking selfish. So, leadership's not about selfish. It's about it's about sharing what you got and fucking watching your dudes grow, man. I'm the fucking gardener, y'all my little seeds. Just pouring water on you. That's it. So it's thinking about pouring water, but the droplets have Reese's face. Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Sheer beauty. Absolute beauty.
Reeves in Lobby. I mean, Lobby's a good dude. I don't know if he's staying in, honestly. I don't know. Lobby's a good dude. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and Lobby's pretty good at working well with the squad. So, but Reeves provides a lot of good knowledge, and me and him share the same idea when it comes to leadership. It's never about selfishness, man. So keep that in mind. That's it.
It's very good points.